Welcome to Leominster Access Television and Cityscope. And today we're going to talk about what, Rick?
The Johnny Appleseed Arts and Cultural Festival.
Number 25.
It's unreal.
It's unbelievable.
It really is.
I'm thinking back, I can remember the first one, and it's grown. I mean, at the beginning, we used to have those huge parades on a Sunday. It was a 2-day fest. I mean, they did away with that. But as far as the festival itself goes, it's grown. It's become like the premier event in Leominster festivities because there's a lot of them now.
It's amazing.
It's going to be tough on your end.
It is. It is tough. Between the festival and the winter stroll, there were 13 other events happening in the city of Leominster. So it's not, when it first started, that was the event. It was the annual Johnny Appleseed Festival, but now there's probably something going on every other week in downtown Leominster. So, you know, we're in competition to a certain degree, not so much with the activities going on, but with the money coming in, because there are a lot of events that need fundraising to take place in order to happen. And unfortunately, money gets very thin, you know, but the companies in town have been great, you know, and they continue to participate as much as they can with city events, along with the other activities happening too.
Do you pretty much have like you know, a standard group that continually supports the Johnny Appleseed Festival? Because it's got, you know, like you said, it gets thinned out. I mean, how many can you give money to?
Right.
It's almost like when people call you, they come to your house. How many can you do? I mean, we have to say no at home to a lot of people. And we picked a few.
Well, I get involved in the 5th annual. And my first event was actually the 6th, where I took it over at that point when Donna Belletta and her dad Benito Fini had founded it for the Leominster Downtown Association, and then I continued that, and now with the city of Leominster. And at that time, it was the philanthropists downtown that funneled the money in to make it happen. They were just trying to bring people downtown for a nice civic event, but also for commerce as well. And then what happened was, when I took it over in the 6th, I went to the Downtown Association and told the players, you know, we need to reach out and branch out throughout the entire, not only Leominster, but the area as well. And at that time, we fostered some great partnerships. Fidelity Bank has been with this event even before I started for 25 consecutive years. When you think about that, that is a benchmark for success. And there's been so much of an administrative changeover in all of the banking institutions, and they just remain right on top every year, coming out and making a substantial donation as a Golden Apple sponsor. You know, and then we have Rollstone Bank, same thing. Leominster Credit Union. You know, so going back to the days of Seth Famani and the rest of them, they pledged to keep this going, and still today, you know, those banking institutions, those 3 in particular, have never left the festival. They've always been there as major sponsors.
So they've made the choice that this is the one that they want to, you know, not so much put all their eggs in one basket, but this is the one that, you know, it's got the tradition, it's been there, it's got the longevity, so they like to associate with it. And without them, you know, where would you be?
It's amazing too, Jack, because the 3 banks that I just mentioned, none of them ask me what can we do for them. It's always what can we do to help out. Like LCU, they come down. They said they have a beautiful booth location as a major sponsor, and every year they give it to the Crime Stoppers. So it's things like that that happen. Fidelity Bank gives out ice cream to the kids. You know, it's just great. You know, we're very, very thankful that those are the 3 anchors. We have other sponsors involved with it as well that haven't been there that long. You know, if later on in the program, if I can recognize them, it would be great.
Now, you're at the point now where you have the finances to get this thing going. You're not really still looking for sponsors?
Oh, we are looking for money right now, definitely. We had a windfall, but it's not happening today. And that is through the state senator, Senator Train. He was able to write an amendment to the budget that went all the way through and made it. And that's money that's going to be dedicated to the festival / tourism in the city of Leominster. And so what happened was that money, when it became available, I lost sponsors. I lost a $10,000 sponsor and another $2,500 sponsor and a couple others that are under the assumption that the money's going to be here for this event to take care of it. But in reality, we may not see that money until later on in 2019. So even though it was earmarked for the 25th, I can't spend it until I have it.
Yeah.
So what happens is when we're down on the fundraising from that point, I have to make it up in other areas. And when I took this event over, we had about 85% businesses, 15% nonprofits and charitables, and one of the goals was to bring the nonprofits and charitables downtown to give them a great day to be able to share what they do, and also in some cases generate some money. And so now it's flipped. We're actually this year 93% of the vendors are nonprofit and charitable organizations. So there's very, very little money generated off their participation. I'll give you an example. I just spoke to Leominster High School on my way over here this morning, and there's about 8 other groups that need to come in. Just let's get them in. We're not going to charge the kids at this point. Just let's get them in. Whatever they need to do, it will be done. So what happens is in the past, the generosity of the sponsors would compensate to pay the bills. The stage is about $6,000. The rental equipment probably exceeds $12,000. Police, fire, DPW, electrician, another $10,000. So at the end of the day, it's about a $40,000 day when everything is said and done. And so when I have a lot of paying vendors and a lot of sponsors contributing, we have a lot of money. When I have fewer on both sides, I have to, figure out how to make ends meet. So when I started with the city, we had a check for $58 was our foundation money. And so we're in a position now where we do have some money secured to make up for years where it might be a little slower and the bills are a little higher. And we hope that, once the state comes through with their money, that it'll take the pressure off. But anyone that wants to be a sponsor, we're looking for help. We need help.
Now, is this state money going to be an ongoing thing, or is
no,
it just
it's a one-time
thing?
One time.
Which is kind of tough because you should let that be known, because some of these people that were sponsoring in the past might think this is going to be an ongoing thing, and it's like they pulled back. But anyway,
it's hard.
Let's talk about the event.
But in all fairness to those sponsors, they're just taking the money and dedicating it to other things, which is great. So it's not like they're shortchanging the area. They're still out there helping in many ways. So the event itself.
Now we've got the 25th year. And I've noticed, like a ton of blues. And they're, pretty well known in the area, and it's a little bit of a different venue from the standard Songbirds, the standard Bob Healy band. It's going to be nice. A good hour and a half of something different it should bring more and different people who don't usually participate in the festival into town, which is, I think, a great idea. There's also a venue toward the end that I didn't recognize. There's one thing that said stage setup or sound check, and I can't remember offhand. The rhythm. Now, can you tell me a little?
Steve Infantino.
Okay.
Here's a soft rock band. They're excellent. They came last year for the first time, and they did a great job. And we asked them if they'd come back this year. So they're coming back to be the anchor for the day.
Okay. So you've got a couple of different venues that should bring some new people in. And
absolutely.
Even after 25 years, you're hoping this thing will just continue to generate interest and grow.
For sure.
Okay,
for sure.
Cool.
We've done so many different things over the years. But one of the things when it comes down to the entertainment is we focus on the morning piece, providing all the school kids from preschool up that want to perform an opportunity to have that have that venue. So we have the LHS chorus, the jazz band, Rachel Selleck is going to be doing a couple of songs again this year. She's one of our favorites.
She's a hoot.
We have the Songbirds coming. International Veterans Chorus has been doing it for years. And then what happens is the Tenor Blues will be coming on at 12 o'clock. We're going to have a quick break at 12 to recognize some of the local and state dignitaries, and also the post office is coming on to make a presentation. And so that'll be just a quick thing. And then we'll get right into Spud Kelly and Tenor Blues. And for the older people here, you remember Pugsley Munyon? When it was back in the 60s, when we were kids growing up, they used to perform and they used to practice in the Kelly House on Orchard Street. And the deal was to us guys, don't touch the drums. Those were Spuds. So in the meantime, we have him coming back, and we're very fortunate to have them. They're fantastic. They perform all over Massachusetts. Some people know the Kellys. This Mike's godson is the owner and drummer of Dropkick Murphys. So they'll be coming in. And then we have the Johnny Appleseed Swing Band. Bob Healy's going to kick it up again this year, do a great job. And then we have Rhythm at the end as the anchor. And we're going to 6 o'clock this year, so we extend it 1 more hour. So there'll be live entertainment all day long. Then we have Ray Richard, the DJ. He'll be in the parking lot working with Heidi's Dance School, and they do group dancing all day long. It's awesome. And then down on the other side in Monument Square Park, we have Earl, DJ Earl, and he plays a lot of 60s and 70s music and 50s too. So as you go into the park and enjoy some of the vendors, you can sit down in the shade, enjoy your lunch, and listen to some tunes in there as well.
Hope the weather breaks.
Yeah, it's just been real hot. Yeah, a day where it's in the 70s is perfect.
We've had some beautiful days.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Just a nice, clear, crisp day. Autumn will bring everything right to life.
It'll be perfect. The apples will be just right. The apple crisp will be ready.
Oh, baby.
And the food court's going to be spectacular this year.
Well, I had some of those.
One of the best.
I don't know who was doing it last year, but they had like these kebabs, chicken and beef.
That had to be the Brazilian barbecue.
It was unbelievable. They were a little high pressure on the sales, but when they finally talked me into it, it was like, meal. I'm glad you talked me into this.
It was an experience.
So I'm going to go right there if they're there this year. The first thing I'm going to do.
We even have Greek food this year.
Really?
And the Outback's back.
Okay.
They've been out for 10 years, and they're back in this year. They're going to be doing steak tips, chicken, and ribs, along with a salad, and donating the proceeds to help with the cost of the event.
Wow.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
And they did that years ago for us. Uno's is going to be there. We've got Chick-fil-A coming in, but we have the Rotary Club doing their clam chowder. They're an anchor. We're hoping they do a great job with that clam chowder and make a lot of money for their programs. We have the Leominster Football and Cheer program. We'll have a booth with hot dogs, hamburgers, meal deals. Skills USA from the trade school will be up in the parking lot providing food for all the families that go up to the parking lot to enjoy that. We have the firemen coming in. They'll be doing some pulled pork. I probably missed a couple in here right off the top of my head, but there's going to be about 7 or 8 food vendors where you can come and not only enjoy snacks, but you can actually have a good meal at a reasonable cost.
See, one of the problems is we baby boomers. Okay, we're at the age now where we can't eat from every vendor. I mean, there was a day where we could just say, I'll have some of this, and work our way right through. Now it's like you eat 1 or 2, and you're like, I don't know about you, but I get full.
I don't eat much.
So we got to bring some of the younger people with higher metabolisms in there to eat right down the line and support everybody.
We got to get the millennials there. They're the ones now that can eat the buffet.
Right, they can spend some of their parents, spend our money.
That's right. Come down and have some fun. So there's going to be food there. It starts at 9 o'clock in the morning. We're going to have Dippin' Donuts coming, Aroma Joe's is coming. We've got the world famous Apple Crisp.
That's a key. The coffee booths are a key. You got to have coffee early in the morning.
One adjustment we made in the engineering, the first 2 booths in front of the First Baptist Church have been pushed down into the food court, and we're building more picnic tables. That whole area is going to be picnic tables all around the stage, so people can get their food, sit down at the table with their friends and family, enjoy their meal, listen to the music, and then go back and enjoy the rest of the day. So we're trying to provide more seating around the stage this year for that to happen.
September 22nd?
22nd. Rain day's the following Saturday, the 29th.
So it would be, if it's rained out, it'll, boy, that would be a pain in the neck.
It takes 10 months to do this event, and it's very long days right now in the final steps. And what happens is, if it got rain postponed, you have to do that whole 10 months in a week. Things change drastically. The cost kills you. For the things that are fixed expenses that you have to pay twice. So hopefully, the only thing I ask all the churches that are involved, and I don't care what the denomination is, pray to whoever for a nice day.
Nice day.
So they all promise me they're going to, with the exception of the First Baptist Church. And the reason is because we had one year where, you remember Peter Anderson?
Yes.
Well, Peter Anderson, along with being a professional skier, it was also a marine skipper. License for fishing, commercial. And we had one year where there was a hurricane coming through, and Peter, and the mayor and I, and Peter Bavenzi, at that time was the Downtown Association, went online and got the world's most effective, efficient weather report known, and it came from the United States Coast Guard. And Peter had access to that. So what happened was he said, you guys are okay. It's not going to rain the rain's not going to hit us until 11 o'clock at night. We're just going to have overcast. So it was a go. We showed up at 5 o'clock in the morning to torrential rain. And what happened was it didn't slow down. So we had to postpone it to the following week. But we didn't get the word out to people. So people were coming from all over to set up. And so the First Baptist Church had their tent out front. And they said, we'll hang out front and let people know when they come through that it's next week. Well, they had sold that day in the rain $7,000 worth of apple crisp. The following week, that week, they went out, they made more apple crisp, and they ended up clearing somewhere around $15,000. So we told them, please don't pray for rain.
Yeah, they're praying for rain. They're doing the same thing.
Yeah, what a great job they do. That's really, the festival's all about their apple crisp, and they're just such nice people.
When do they start making that? They have to go a couple
They start
days.
peeling around. They start, they pick and gather Monday, Tuesday. They peel on Wednesday. They start making everything on Thursday. By Thursday and Friday, they're really into it, and it's ready to go Saturday morning.
We ought to get our tech crew out back there and get them involved with making a little documentary about the preparation of the apple crisp.
Jack,
I think that would be,
they're using
follow
peelers.
the whole process.
It'd be great.
That would be something.
It'd be great. They're using
You get that, guys?
That would be super.
Yeah.
They're using peelers.
Yeah.
They actually go back to the late 1800s.
Those little twisterinos.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And they're all set up, and they're singing songs and Bible songs, and just what a nice group of people.
That's a
just
good idea.
awesome.
Maybe I'll do it.
Yeah. So we have something kind of special happening this year with the kids up in the parking lot. We always bill it as a parking lot party for kids, but it's really for adolescents too. There's as many high school, middle school kids that go in there as young children. So to the left, we're going to have a little kiddie lane type of area set up, and then the rest of it, we're going to have, I think there's like 7 amusements in there for the kids to enjoy. Band Boosters will be working with some other groups on that this year. And we also have Skills USA from the trade school that's going to be doing food up there as well. I'm proud of my grandson Connor and Hannah Wyman. Hannah Wyman is a senior also, who is with the Best Buddies program. So Connor is a football kid, but he's also very much involved with the life skill classes up there as a volunteer. So they're partnering up, and we're going to be bringing in approximately 500 pumpkins. We have to figure out where to put them. They're medium sized with long stems. In Amish country, as we're talking, they're being delivered to Leominster probably next Wednesday. And so when you go in with the kiddie land, we have coloring books for the kids to color. We're going to have a water trough with ducks in it to play in, little plastic ducks. The coloring book was created. It's 8 pages long, 2-sided, by Joe Payne, a Vietnam veteran who's on disability, who did some caricatures for us, beautiful things for the kids to color. Little kid picnic tables in there, handicap tables in there. And the pumpkins are going to be decorated by anybody who wants to decorate a pumpkin. And what's happening is we're going to have Best Buddies up there, we're going to have football kids up there, cheerleaders up there, and they're going to be collaborating to paint the pumpkins with the kids. And then they can, when they're done, they'll put a piece of tape on the pumpkin with the child's name on it, or person, or anybody that wants to buy one, and then they could pick them up on their way out. 100% of the proceeds is going to the Leominster High School Special Olympics. And we're also helping the other schools as well, the middle school, elementary, with their Special Olympics, and also the life skill program to do some initiatives with the kids. So say they bring the kids apple picking, and they didn't have the funding to be able to get a bus. Now they'll have it. So the goal, the kids met their goal is to raise $2,500. I don't know if we'll get there, but we'll work hard to get to that point.
So to paint the pumpkin, you make a donation? Is that pretty much how it goes?
We're asking people to make a donation. You know, I'm not charging. There's no price on the pumpkin.
So you do better that way sometimes.
You know, it's like a free car wash. So what's happening is these kids they're playing St. John's Friday night under the lights, the first game under the lights on the new turf at St. John's on the 21st, and they're going to be at the festival for 6 o'clock in the morning to get ready and set up for this. So you talk about making right choices and helping out the communities. And some of these kids have been, and they've told me, I know my own grandchildren have been going there since they were young toddlers, so the festival's kind of a special day for those that can make it. The parking lot, if I can talk about it, critical. $10, all-day pass. What does it cost to go on an amusement when you go down to some of the area fairs?
Yeah, you're going to bring your checkbook.
Yeah, I mean, we're free admission, free parking, free live entertainment all day long. The food court, everything in there is very reasonably priced, and you'll find something if someone's a little high. So we have this parking lot with all these inflatables and things happening, and a slide in the road, $10 all day pass. So if you want to come down for a while and then go home, someone has a soccer game or a youth football game or Pop want to practice or something, and then come back, we extended it to 6. Just wear the bracelet and you're back. You don't miss a heartbeat. You know?
I had a funny thought. Remember the year of the Titanic slide?
Yeah.
I've got pictures of that, and every once in a while my kids will be looking through the pictures and they'll
6th
say,
annual.
Look at that. Was that in bad taste, they would say, and we'd all just get a joke out of it because it was like, how many people died in the Titanic, and here was this giant slide. Yeah. It was kind of funny when my kids, it's like an inside joke.
I can share with you stories every single year. Things happen. Yeah. And the Titanic was like the most popular slide. And then finally, Paul's rental said, "We can't do this anymore. We're getting too much." How could you be so insensitive?
Yeah, that was the 6th, so that was 19 years ago.
That was the 6th and 7th annual we had, and they took it out the next year.
So just think in terms of bringing it back today with the political correctness, which is it's grown arithmetically every year since then. It would be like people would be deflating it.
We had one year kids were dressing up in Halloween costumes. Yeah. We got slack for that a little bit too. I
remember one year there was a group that had some really, really hideous.
Well, what happened was we had a costume company come down, and that was their booth. Yeah. So they were kind of wearing that. We've also had kids from the theater arts program that took it a little too far. So last year, for example, we had Frozen. Yeah. That was the theme. So some of the kids came down and they dressed in real soft costumes that were really appropriate.
Is there a theme this year?
For the theater?
Like you said, yeah. Do they have a
I'm not sure. I know Dom Ciccolini is working on an ad right now for the football program, so I'm not sure what the musical is this year. Yeah. But the theater arts kids are coming down, so I would expect they'd be dressed in something that's
if you find out, just let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a lot of things happening for kids all day long. There'll be plenty of police there walking around. We have National Guards coming. They're going to have a Humvee kids can see, maybe climb into. Yep. Historical Commission, Mark Bonanza will have all his books down there. We have something, I'm not sure how it's going to work out yet, but we have 500 prints that were made up from the 6th annual, 11th, 13th, 15th, 17th, and 24th. And we have approximately 500 prints, and we're going to lay them out on tables. I mean, some of the prints of people that have passed on. Yeah. A lot of them are. I mean, there's one photograph of when John Kerry came, of my mother, Brian Tebow from B&M Printing, a Citizen of the Year, and a big Rotarian, and Al Broussard, former city councilor and civic leader, sitting together eating apple crisp. So we have pictures like that. We have a lot of people that were big in this community, people like Helen Hill and Ellie Myers. Remember Ellie Myers back in the Mahan days? She was a real political activist. And there's just, if you look at the International Veterans Chorus, Gil Tremler, we just lost him, Victor Ledger, and a lot of the people that were in there have passed on. So what we did was I went through the archives. It took a little bit of time, but I pulled the pictures out. We're going to lay them out on tables and ask people to look at them. And they may find something like I've got a great picture of Jen Flanagan and her grandfather. She's never seen it. I know she's going to want it. But Jen will come to the table if she comes. She'll write down her name, his name, and what will happen is all of that collection is going to be donated to the Historical Society. They have a lot of things right now on disc and everything, but they don't have hard copy prints. So we're using, the pictures were actually developed using a process that gives them some longevity, and they're nice and clean. So they're going to last, And then if anybody wants a picture of that, I'll have a volunteer there. We'll write down the picture
with a number,
and something. And then what we'll do is I'll go back and make one up as a gift for the family. So there'll be a lot of 50-50s happening.
And the beauty of that is, like, some of the people that you don't know somebody will know and ID them. So 50 years from now, they'll have a record of who's in the photo versus some of the things we have. It's like, who are they?
It's amazing.
I think we're running out of time here. So, is there anything else you want to?
Well, I just want to say thank you to the sponsors real quick.
Yeah.
Our Golden Apple sponsors would be the Outback Restaurant this year, Leominster Credit Union, Fidelity Bank, Rollstone Bank, UMass Medical, Health Alliance, Life Care Center of Leominster, and also Leominster Cultural Council. Those are the big donors, that really make it happen. Without them, this event can't take place. Silver sponsors that have also made a big contribution would be Congressman Jim McGovern, Enterprise Bank, Longstone Limited, which is the Gagney family, Gagney Enterprises, Leominster Telecommunications, LTV is a big part of it, New England Apple, Veolia North America, Roma Joe's is in, and then we have the Bronze Apple. We have Joey DeCarolis and his family through DeCarolis Insurance Agency, Ernie Rooney and his family with Silas Richardson, Dr. Michael Cronin, the dentist, DDS, Danny Piper and Piper Electrical, IC Federal Credit Union is in that level this year. O'Connor Portraiture Studios right here in Leominster. Champion Newspapers helping us out a little bit. And then the Leominster Veterans Center. The post office, the last piece, which is really interesting for some of the collectors out there, they actually made a cancellation stamp. For the Johnny Appleseed Station. This is a federal stamp. And it's being introduced it's a Scooby-Doo thing, I guess, and it's being introduced at 12 o'clock on the main stage. And what will happen is throughout the day, you can bring envelopes, you can buy envelopes, you can get them postmarked there, and they'll be doing the cancellation stamp.
Okay, so this is a new stamp.
Yeah.
And it commemorates Johnny Appleseed?
It's a cancellation stamp for the 25th anniversary. Wow. It's cool, huh?
Because I can remember years ago they came out with a Johnny Appleseed stamp.
They did.
I think I actually have those with the cancellation on them. So I don't know what that was for. I don't think it was for this event.
I don't think it was for this event either, but I remember I've seen it before. I think I might have one somewhere, maybe in honor of his birthday or something like that. So for the people in the school system, K through 8, parochial and public, we have a flyer going home. Tough to see, but it's a flyer. It'll be brought home with the kids. We have English on one side, Spanish on the other. So what'll happen, that's actually going home. We'll be leaving them off in some of the areas where the kids gather, like Boys Club, Girls Club, etc. The different sports areas, to just fill you in a little bit about the event itself. There'll be major advertising on WXLO radio starting next week. We have 60 30-second spots, so be listening to that. And we also have in the Autumn Guide of the Champion, which is distributed to 18,000 customers, not just the Leominster area. There'll be a full-page ad in there and also an article about the festival. So a special thank you to LTV. You guys are always there with us. We got Russ Kruger and his team are going to be down there helping with videotaping and documentary. Harry Cloud Photography is coming in. We really want to do a great job with documentary this year, just to have it. It's good. It's nice to look back and see some of the faces in the crowd again that we all miss as a community. Some of the nice people that we have a pleasure to sit down with and have some apple crisp. So there's been a lot of great stories over the year. We try to make it as cross-generational as we can. It's a family day. It's fun. Just park wherever you can. Between the First Church Unitarian and the First Baptist Church, you can come in the back of the fire station, not on their street, but across the back where the old the parking garage is. We'll go your way over, and there will be handicapped parking right there. It's worked out pretty well. So vendors come in, they set up, they remove their vehicles from that area, and they make it available to everyone. There'll be toilets all over the place, porta potties, so we'll be in good shape on that.
Thank God for us old men.
Oh, I'm telling you.
We got to wrap it up, Rick.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
We could go 2 hours.
Oh, it's great. Thank you. Appreciate it.
See you the 22nd.